So we do this program and it's on significance. And really the purpose of this program is just you sitting where you're at in your vehicle somewhere on a Monday thinking about your future. What could it be like? How could you live a life of significance? And the purpose of this is to just get you to think and maybe dream a little bit more about that. I remember a guy asking me to join a Bible study. I said, well, how long is it? And he said 7 years. And I said, 7 years? You're kidding me. And he said, well, if you don't do it, you'll still be that old anyway. The fun part about this program is you just sitting with yourself right now and just imagining what you're going to do when you have all that time to do whatever you want and how great that could be. And to help you with that, we're talking about real people who have been in similar circumstances to what you're going through right now. So we were talking about Pat. Pat's in kind of a dying industry. He's looking to retirement. He's a little burnt out. And we gave him clarity. Now he knew exactly where he was in his life, what his skill sets were, what his gifts were, who he was, what made him tick, what made him happy in life. And now that we have that clarity, well, that gets him to a place called energy. So I caught up with Jim Riefenberger, our business chaplain, who explained more. Explain to us, Jim, how this clarity to energy connection works in the master class.
Jeff, like with Pat, when he identified who he truly is, that he's good with relationships and people, got a giving heart. He needs to be doing something different to find significance in his workplace. So then he was able to use the GROW acronym journal to come up with some opportunities that we talked about last episode. Where this turns into energy for Pat is that in steps 5 through 7, he does what's called a time machine. He steps into the time machine and he looks back and looks forward. He says, okay, where's Pat going to be at in 20 years? And then there's an exercise where he does a zero sum, like true prosperity. Like if he set out his age over the next 20 years and the experiences that he wanted to live, things he wanted to do, the people he wanted to do it with, and also the health that he needs to have to do that stuff.
So a metaphor might be, since life is a journey, in this part of the masterclass, it's like we are taking you to the top of a peak where you can look backwards on the path you've been on and forward to where you want to go. And just by sitting there for a minute, you can see the path ahead and figure out what steps it'll take to get there, and also where you want to go. Yeah, do I want to go to that lake? Do I want to go to that mountain stream? What kind of future would most excite me 20 years from now? And that's what's great about this class, Jim. I have no idea what Pat would be excited about doing. And that's not the purpose. The purpose is for him to discover it. And that's part of the fun.
Yeah, Jeff, if you pull up the map that we have with significance here, if you look at the map and you see all these giftings and identity on the far left, we move over to the far right where you see the X at the bottom of the map, and we're actually marking the X, the map. I find that interesting. If we were ever in a treasure movie, that it gets really exciting and our energy goes up the minute we know maybe where the treasure is at.
And let's talk about treasure. If treasure is a measure of true prosperity, well, that includes a number of different things. We always think about the money part, but a truly prosperous person has more than merely money, doesn't he?
For certain, it's not just money, it's relationships. Who you do it with matters. And if you feel confident enough to have the energy health-wise to actually accomplish it. One of the other things that Pat also did here was, because he marked that X and he went through that exercise with me, the other thing he was able to do is have a conversation with his wife, share that with her and find out where she was at in that plan. And with her health issues, they were able to kind of like think long term and short term to figure out a solution as a couple.
Yeah, so if we take prosperity as being a mixture of money and health and relationships and purpose, well, that's where we ultimately want to go. And this is the path that Pat is now ready to go on because he has clarity of who he is. He has the energy to see what he wants to see happen. And now all he has to do is make the necessary steps in the next 15 to 20 years to get to that place we call fulfillment or significance. So when we talk about all of these steps, we're talking about our significance masterclass. And the purpose of this is A, to see if you're interested in taking it, but maybe more importantly for this particular venue, to see if we can offer you some tips on finding that significance in your own life. So we talked about clarity, we talked about energy, and now next week we're going to talk about that step to fulfillment and how we help Pat get there. Until next time, I'm Jeff Gould.
I'm Jim Riefenberger.
God bless.